I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Business Renovator. I'm Coach Phil, your host. Today, achieving more than sales targets, Bob Wood's health victory. And he's got a little bit of a surprise at the end. Everybody's talking about AI, so are they. So you want to stick around and have a listen to what we're up to. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, by all means, let us know. I also want to play something new, created this recently. We would appreciate you if you could help us by subscribing. In addition to that, like, share, and comment. That helps get eyeballs and helps share the messages of the wonderful guests, such as Bob, as you learn his journey and learn something about how social sales and AI can work together. But in the meantime, I'm going to play another little video because this is how I get paid. Sort of, kind of. Here we go. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, and you would like to get an idea where you're at, and hey, we're getting to the end of 2024, why not do a stop and reassess? Go to that website, coachphil.ca, click on the button at the top right as you face the screen, and there's a business growth score assessment. You can look at that and check in and see how you did this year, and then look at what you're doing for wanting to do to thrive in 25. There's no credit card required. It's complimentary just for watching our show. And if you wanted to dive in and have a better understanding of what some of the answers were to your assessment, a 30-minute complimentary, no credit card required, no strings attached, just a gift for you being a viewer of our podcast. So pretty easy, right? That's a gift for you. So now what I want to do is get into the show. The reason why we're here, achieving more sales targets, Bob Woods and his health victory. Yes, we're going to talk about his health victory, and you'll see why it's relevant for all of us today as we go into the season and as we live into life. And we're also going to be able to share some information, as I mentioned before, about AI and social selling, how AI can be your friend, and we're going to learn some things, a little bit about that, and also where you can go and find out more about Bob and his company. So let's get right after it. As I mentioned, the show is about achieving more than sales targets, Bob Woods' health victory. So his recently named a LinkedIn top voice, joining the ranks of Jack Welch, Richard Branson, Gary Vaynerchuk, award-winning salesperson. Bob Woods is a CAIO and a LinkedIn social selling consultant at Social Sales Link, SSL. Bob has been on LinkedIn since the platform's beginning, and it's not that old, but he looks so much younger today than when I first met him. That's why we're revisiting this, because health matters. I'm going to interject something that I learned from being a focal point coach. Brian Tracy taught us about the diamond map, and the bottom part of the diamond map is health and fitness. If we don't look after our health and our fitness, all the other stuff is a moot point, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So he's also been on LinkedIn since the platform's beginning. He was the 74th. I can't even. This number is so big. I'm going to round it up. He was a 75,000 person, not quite. It's a little bit more specific than that. 74,899 person to join, and he's never looked back. He's an expert. Expertise encompasses B2B sales, AI, digital marketing, and strategic business development, and health ideas as well. That's I added that, making him a pivotal figure in the digital sales transformation landscape. I can't wait any longer. I'm going to bring him up. Bob, get up here. Thanks
I'm
for being
here.
here.
Thank you for having me, Phil. I really appreciate it. This is very cool to be on here again. I definitely enjoyed it last time and glad that I'm here again.
I want to start off with a picture which caught my attention because you made a post social on LinkedIn. That's how you can
Yeah.
learn about what's going on with people. So I want to share that right out the get-go so we can show people why I was inspired to get you back up here. Not because you're just a brilliant guy when it comes to social sales, but because of this image right here.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the same dude. His transformation, well, it's right there. Pictures tell the truth, right? So Bob's done something, which he's going to share a little bit about, to go from the guy on the left to the guy on the right. And the guy is the same guy, he's just different. He's healthier. And he's
Yep.
vulnerable because he's going to tell us a little bit. I mean, even to allow me to share that picture demonstrates your vulnerability.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. I have to admit that I'm always a little uncomfortable, not from the ego perspective, just as much as just I think that even someone like myself who is on social a lot for business, and I'm talking about business all the time, sometimes when it comes to sharing like truly personal things like that can be and is for me still a little difficult to do. But you push through it. You can hopefully find some kind of business type connection, which with that photo I definitely did find a business connection and related it back to a personal story of mine. And it seems like that type of posting, of sharing, whatever you want to say, definitely gets attention on social more than just the standard, hey, here's our product, here's our service, which you should never do in the first place, by the way. But everyone still does that. But I mean, but just the engagement from that and the views from that post shows that when you talk to what people want to consume, what they need to consume, and in this case share a compelling story and then relate it back to what you do, those are the types of content that resonate on social. And just for me personally, the only reason why I had really done that was because it was kind of a milestone in my weight loss journey. So I'm like, yeah, I'm down to 230 now. I should probably say something about it, especially because people like you and other people, when they see me in person and they saw the old photos, because the old photos are still kind of floating around out there. They're always like, are you the same person? I was like, yeah, I am the same person. So I just kind of felt like calling that out a little bit more would probably be a good idea, even from that standpoint. So, just out there talking about health and fitness a little bit more, because as you demonstrated with that, or as you shown with that diamond thing, I mean, health and fitness is, I think, really important, not only in life, but in business. You need to be healthy, and health and fitness and just keeping yourself in shape. And even if you're not completely 100% in shape, just being healthier, a healthier you is is not only a difficult thing to do, but it's also one of the first things that tends to slide when you're faced with all this business stuff you got to do. Oh my God, I got to do this. Oh my God, I got to do
Yeah.
that. Oh, I don't
Those
have
two
or
things that you tapped into. Uh, you said a lot of people do the what I would call pitching, and that doesn't help anybody. So showing
Mhm.
up with authenticity is the one thing, and to be uh, leading with value and inviting people to uh, consider what you have, and if they want to see it or share it, then they'll ask for it. You don't just throw it in their inbox or in their
Right.
social media chat, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
what caught my attention, and I want to make sure we talk about this because the show is not 2 hours long like some of the more popular. I
Yep.
just I just diss my own show, but
Two,
there
like
are
3 and 4. Yeah.
there are some people that have long shows that apparently get people to watch.
Yeah.
But the vulnerability aspect, and with me seeing that photo, struck a chord with me because I am challenged with. I like food, and attempt to eat healthily, but I'm still not dropping the weight that you have or at the pace that you have. What was the strategy? It's not magic, but what was the strategy that you implemented that helped you get to where you are today?
So, a couple of things are going on there. Definitely the whole eat less, move more kind of thing is definitely a part of that. I definitely believe that moving more and exercising, some form of exercise. It doesn't have to be going to a gym 4 or 5 days a week. I mean, you could be walking every single day. You could be jogging or lifting weights or doing something almost every day, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever, because you do need rest days. So don't overdo it because you'll burn yourself out. Just like I say about content, don't overdo it. You'll burn yourself out. Same thing with health and fitness. I do believe that all of that is definitely a part of it. I also think though that while you're doing that, you have to understand that weight loss is a little bit like sales results in terms of sometimes you're going to have really good weeks, really good months. Other times you're going to have months that are kind of flat or weeks or months or however you want to imagine it. And sometimes you may even your sales may go down, or in this case, your weight may go up a little bit. You have to understand that that's part of the process and to not get frustrated by it, but to just keep going because just like in sales, you should have goals as you go forward, and they don't necessarily even need to be like an ultimate goal. Because right now, I really don't have an ultimate goal. I do have like kind of I don't want to say signposts. I forget what like waypoints. That's what I was looking for. So you have waypoints where it's like, okay, I'm going to get to this number, I'm going to evaluate, and then I'm going to strategize how I need to get to my next waypoint, and then just focus on it more like that. And then probably because I had, as you saw in the photo, such a lot of weight to lose. I started out at 350. I'm now at 230. My next kind of waypoint is 200. Thank you very much. My next kind of waypoint is around 200. That's what I'm going to kind of stop and evaluate. But you also have to stop and evaluate. So one of the big things, because I had been on weight loss journeys before and I had always failed, as you could see in that but before photo, because I spiked up to my worst weight ever. Um, there are times where, yeah, and this is where the sales metaphor falls off, and we're getting just in health and fitness here. But I think you have to stop. I think you have to stop. You have to celebrate, but you also need to determine what you need to do to stay at wherever you're at with that waypoint. So in other words, my waypoint before 230 was 250. So I purposely stopped losing weight because I wanted to number one, because I wanted to experience what that was like. Because in the past it had just been a constant battle to get down without anything. So I never really learned how to enjoy my weight at certain points, even though I still had a ways to go. I figured out for this one that I really needed to stop. I really needed to determine what I need to do to stay at this weight and be comfortable with that and enjoy life while I'm doing that. Because otherwise, if you're not enjoying life, even when you're losing weight, why do it? I mean, you have to figure out what makes you happy and also at the same time how you can stay at that weight. So I determined how to do that. I did that for a couple of months and then it's like, okay, it's time to start losing weight again. You have to make sure that you get back onto the train though at the same time. So you get back onto the train, you start losing weight again.
Yeah.
So, I'm at that point now where I'm like, okay, 230, let's figure this out. It's probably not going to take as much time because it's only 20 pounds lighter, but there are some differences I'm noticing. and obviously with the holidays and things like that, I'm just looking to maintain right now, and I'm doing a pretty good job with that. So the next time is going to be after the first of the year.
Are you on anybody's particular plan?
Right now I do take a supplement. It's called Balance. It's from a company. Oh, I forget the name of it now. It's
Ultimate,
it's
ultimate.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So I've been on that for a while. It's basically a fiber supplement that you take before meals. You drink it down, tastes good, orange, and there are a couple of other flavors. But that helps to fill you up so that you're not eating as much, and that has done wonders for me. Plus, it does add needed fiber into the diet, which unfortunately, because we all eat like crap here in America, because it's what the food companies, it's what the food companies sell us, unfortunately. Um, we really need to have more like good fiber in our diet, and that also provides that as well.
yeah. I'd heard that about fiber is lacking in our diet. If you look at
Yeah.
the Asian culture, they eat a lot more fiber than we do, and they tend to be skinnier, lighter weight
Yeah.
human beings, generally speaking. Not all, but
Yeah.
more so, right? It's the way they eat, the food they consume.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely in Asia as well as in Europe, because I was in Europe over the summer, and it's really easy to to at least maintain weight and even lose a little weight while you're there, because not only are you eating better food, because it's not the crap that we have here in America, and I'm sure Canada is probably similar, although there are differences with additives and things like that that are allowed here that aren't allowed in Canada, which at this point I would much rather be more like Canada and Europe when it comes to stuff like that. But there's also a lot more exercise because of the way that cities are laid out, and people just tend to get a lot more exercise in general, whereas here in America, specifically because things tend to be so spread out, and people are like, oh, America sucks because people don't get exercise. It's like it's not really it's kind of our fault, but it kind of isn't, just because of how things are laid out here. I think that has a lot to do with it. We're so car based because that's just the way things have grown out. Whereas in Europe, you can get to a lot of stuff just by walking. And I loved it. I loved walking. Was in Amsterdam. We did bikes everywhere. It was amazing. In half the cities here in the US, you take a bike on the road, you feel like you're gonna get mowed down. I mean, it's just it's just such a change in mental in your mental state, I guess, is what I want to say there.
There's a P
You
word.
have to work at it more to get really fit here in America.
Yeah, there's a P word. Well, there's a couple of P words that come to mind. It's a philosophy,
Yep.
philosophy. If it's a philosophy,
Philosophy.
it's a philosophy.
Philosophy.
It's a
Indeed. Certainly.
and it's a paradigm. We're conditioned in North America to do things the way we do. Uh,
Yep.
I agree with the car thing for the most part, because in
Mhm.
Canada we've got the population of California spread out
Mhm.
over this land
Yeah.
that's bigger than the U.S.
Yep.
So it's really difficult to walk that far. Like a
Yeah.
15-hour drive to go visit somebody, you take, I don't know how many days it would take to walk. But
Yeah.
yeah, the Europeans, they're more compressed. It is a different lifestyle, it's a different philosophy, and it's a different paradigm.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
Without a doubt.
I was in Portugal a little bit ago, and I've experienced this. They do have cars. You do need cars to get places, but
Oh, yeah. Without a
you
doubt.
could be living in a like we visited a place on the Argives, and went to restaurants and pubs. We didn't drive to each one of them. They were within like a short
Hmm.
distance, not a long distance, to the
Yeah.
beach, to a pub, to an eatery.
Yeah.
The only time we drove is we had a Airbnb kind of a accommodation, and it wasn't close to where we were hanging out. So we parked the car where we were hanging out once we got there, and we walked
Mhm.
everywhere. And then when we were done for the day, got back in the car, went back to the Airbnb. Anyway, but yeah, it's a philosophical difference between the Europeans and North Americans
Yeah,
generally.
without a doubt.
Yeah, cool. Well, you also not only did you drop weight and laid a couple of hints on us and a couple of ideas on what to do around that philosophy, but you also help people be healthy in business, right?
That is what we
That's how we
strive to
first
do,
met,
without a doubt.
you and your partner, Bryn.
Yep. Bryn Tillman and Stan Robinson Jr. We are definitely committed to helping sales professionals use LinkedIn and nowadays especially use AI in conjunction with LinkedIn and all the other tools that are out there to help them start sales conversations without being salesy. And it's one of our big lines nowadays, and there's something to it because there's still a lot of salesy crap going on out there, and we don't like it. We don't, as most of us don't like it when it is foisted upon us. So why should we be doing it to other people?
I totally agree with that. I think it was a President Roosevelt, might not be. I could get that wrong. Excuse me and forgive me, Americans. But I really like the phrase. He says, "No one cares about you until they know how much you care about them." And
Yep.
I'm also an advocate of what you are. I even hate the word pitch. People say, "Yeah, I'm going to pitch this idea." Why do you want to pitch it? What does a baseball pitcher do? He or she throws a ball in such a way that it tricks the batter. Are we professional tricksters or are we professional solution providers? And that's what
Yep.
I like about you guys, your company, your philosophy. It's coming with value, sharing ideas and intel, inviting people to reach out and ask for what you have. You're not pushing anything down anybody's throat. It's been my experience with hanging out with you guys when I have hung out with you.
Yeah.
And that's in alignment with what I'm all about. So I help
Excellent.
people do the same thing. It's not about getting enough crap on the wall, hoping some would stick and they're going
Hmm.
to buy. That doesn't work very effectively. It's better to slow down. I use a Brian Tracy upside down pyramid. You can call it a whatever you want to call it. I just call it a pyramid because it's a triangle. And
Yeah.
it's divided into four sections: 40, 30, 20, 10. And if you've done the 40 and the 30 properly, which is the building the rapport, trust, and likabilityness, and more
Hmm.
so the trust than anything else, then you get the opportunity to ask questions to find out what their aspirations are, what their pain points are, what are the problems they have they don't want, and and then you can start to think about the solutions you might be able to offer them. So then you get to the 20%, which is a presentation. Now you've done the 40 and the 30, built the trust, understand who they are, and you do the presentation. And in the presentation, you might find that you didn't understand something. And they went, no, no,
Yeah.
no, it's not what I meant. So now you go back up, ask a few more questions, come back to the presentation. And if you've done that right, you're like 90% of the way of helping somebody solve a problem. And my experience, Bob, is that when you get into the 10%, that's the commitment, make a decision, take action. They say, can we do this at this time every week? Or where do we go from here? The,
Right.
the close is them asking to get engaged.
That is the ultimate close that I think every salesperson wants is to have them say whatever the equivalent of "where do I sign" is.
Yeah, exactly. Have them want to do it. Like you were saying earlier, we all love to buy, myself included.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I don't like to be sold. And
Right, we don't like to be sold to.
I specialize in sales coaching, sales training, and mentorship. Is one of the things I do for small to medium-sized businesses, entrepreneurs, and actually even large corporations, but mainly my anyway. Uh, but it's showing up with value and like going back to that great quote: "No one cares about you until they know how much you care about them."
Exactly.
So I want to give you a plug in a couple of areas before time runs out. You guys have recently launched your new. It's not that new, right? I'm going to bring it up here.
No, it's new, actually. Well, it's not new to us because, we've been developing it in the background for a while now, but it just launched on Cyber Monday. It's called Ask SSL. It's right there at askssl.ai. So, what's what's neat about it is, let me back up. So, we at Social Sales Link have been on AI for a little while now. I actually even went as far as taking a class on on AI applications for growth at Kellogg Executive Education out of Northwestern University. I've got a credential from there and everything now. So um, with all that and just with our experience with AI and what it can do and what it can't do, we identified essentially three problems with AAI and LLMs, which are large language models, which are essentially the chat GPTs of the world. And there are a lot of them out there, but everyone says chat GPT and everybody knows what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to I'm going to use chat GPT, but like in a Kleenex or a Xerox kind of way. So we've identified three problems out there, especially for revenue generating and driven professionals like people like you and me, and people like who are listening today. So the first one is it's really difficult to get consistent output in your voice with Chat GPT, specifically not only when you're developing content, but to even have it know you in air quotes when it comes to things like knowing what your business is. I mean, really knowing what your business is and what you do and what you don't do and your competitors and things like that. A lot of times we have to spend significant time editing an output from a prompt, and more often than not, it doesn't land. Next, we're talking to many different audiences. Unless you're with a company that has like one really defined audience, which I bet most don't, we have several different ICPs, ideal client profiles. Each of them have different needs and desires. So, trying to create different messaging for each of those audiences. If you're using a regular chat GPT type of thing, all that stuff needs to be revised all the time. And then the other thing is organization. So staying organized, retrieving past chats, building ongoing conversations with via a specific client like ChatGPT is nearly impossible to achieve. That's why with Ask SSL, we've taken all of that. It's now your personalized custom LLL. We've got hundreds of prompts, unlimited avatars, unlimited personas. And the big thing that we have is support. So you get all of us as well. You get me, you get Bryn, you get Stan. We have masterminds that are included when you join twice a week, every single month. We help you with Ask SSL to really fine tune it and give it, and so that you can get out of it exactly what you need. And the biggest, well, not the biggest, but another biggie is, and this is a little different, it's 100% compliant with LinkedIn's user agreement. We do not use plugins at all. There is nothing that will trip up LinkedIn security algorithms or whatever magic and alchemy that they use to determine if someone is using that type of stuff. You will never get dinged by LinkedIn security by using Ask SSL.
Cool. And you and I both have heard of experience either firsthand or through other experts in the LinkedIn space. And some of the bot programs out there have put people in LinkedIn jail for a day, a week, a month, and some for in
Permanently.
perpetuity. Really?
Yeah, some permanently.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's not even a first strike or second strike or whatever. You just get you just get yanked. It's there's no rhyme or reason to it. Just realize that whenever you are using like that type of thing that uses automation, that uses excuse me, a plugin that's like a Chrome plugin or whatever, LinkedIn looks for specific Chrome plugins, and you're playing in their sandbox, so it's their rules. So all of these companies can sell this stuff to you. You just can't use it because LinkedIn may say at some point, hey, nope, not going to happen. See you later, whether that's for a specific amount of time or permanently or whatever. So we always strongly recommend to just not use those products. And that's one of the reasons why we like, obviously we like what we've designed here, but one of the things that we like about it is that there is no plugin involved. Like I said, LinkedIn security is not going to tag you because you're using Ask SSL.
Right. And I put this up here in case somebody wanted to connect with you directly,
Yeah,
learn
please
more,
do.
make sure they got the right dude. Go right here on linkedin.com. You'll see Bob Woods because there are multiple Bob Woods. You want to make sure you get the right one.
There are a couple of us out there. It's definitely one of the more common names out there. So yeah, and then I would I would like it if you sent a note with it and just mentioned the business renovator so that I know where you're coming from and so that Phil knows that he is continuing to do a great job with the show here.
Great. I love that. I love that. Hang on. What am I doing here? Here we go. There we're
There we
back.
go.
So, what I got out of this is health and fitness. Between the two of us, we're aware of that. That if you don't have the health and fitness of yourself and of your business, then you're going to be out of business, literally in life and in business.
Yep.
It's not about um, pitching; it's about providing value.
Mhm.
And other thought leaders around the world that are successful say the same thing. It's to provide value and solve problems, not to deceive people with cons and etc. Right?
Yep.
And it's a courting process, really. If
Oh
we're
yeah.
if we're courting people properly, then we build the trust. And if I'm also a Trust Edge Institute certified advisor, and it's all about trust. And really, the real currency of commerce is trust, because without trust, nothing happens.
Mhm.
So,
It doesn't show up on a balance sheet, but it could definitely influence your balance sheet.
oh, absolutely, both positively and
And
negatively.
negatively, yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I don't have a picture of the book yet. I've got I've got 100 of them at the my post office box to go pick up. But it's the new Trust is Everything book written by David Horsager. He is brilliant. That's all he does is sort of 25 years he's been studying trust and developing it. He's the CEO of the company that I
Okay.
would mention, and it's it's integrated with everything I do because in sales as Brian Tracy says, if there's a fuzzy understanding, there's like the trust is not there, they'll make a decision. And the decision, usually, if it's a fuzzy understanding, is to not do anything. At least
Yeah.
not with you if you're causing fuzz to show up. Anyway,
Right.
is
Yep.
there like in 29 seconds or less, is there one thing that you
Uh,
would encourage our audience to pay attention to?
Pay attention to LinkedIn. I mean, pay attention to your feed. Pay attention to what's going on there because you never know what you're going to find. You may find a discussion that you want to participate in that you can show value to, and who knows where that can go. Even a comment that shows value that contributes to the conversation, there could possibly be a potential customer, prospect, we want to say, at the other end of that who is reading that and may go, I wonder what this person has to say about this, or I wonder if this person can help me.
This is an extra plug for us and LinkedIn. When we're interacting with LinkedIn, like, comment, post, repost, is we use what's the best strategy for going to authentically interact with others?
Well, if you're interacting with others, let's talk about commenting really quick. So, comment should, first of all, and this goes back to the podcast episode that I just did earlier this week. Our one of our podcast for our podcast, Making Sales Social, but talking about comments and starting relationships and things like that. I was getting a little worked up during that episode. So don't do don't write great post. I mean, and this is what I said then, I'll say it now. Stop that crap. I mean, just stop it. Absolutely stop saying great post. In other words, talk about why it's a great post. Add your opinion to it. Really enhance the value for others who are reading it. And yeah, that's going to take time. And what can you do? But possibly get business, maybe so, maybe not. But at least when you're putting yourself out there and you're giving an opinion and you're adding value, especially if people start commenting on your posts and you find that, hey, I'm jiving with this person, I may want to reach out and connect with them and see what happens next. I mean, that's like a really easy way to get the ball rolling when it comes to engagement on LinkedIn with comments on other people's posts.
Don't copy and paste their comments is what I'm hearing. Be
Yes.
authentic and genuine. That you've
Yeah.
actually read
And
with.
value added.
Yeah, cool. On that note, the part of the show I hate is the end.
Oh,
It's that time. So hang out for a few seconds and I'll be right back, Bob. Thanks for being here.
oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. This as usual, this has been a lot of fun.
Cool. Thanks. See you in a bit. So before we wrap up, there's something I got to do. This you in wonderful is like that on purpose because it's to let you know that you are truly wonderful and unique. So continue being your wonderful, unique self and take on the rest of the year. And because it's the end of the year, would it make sense to stop and see what you want to make happen for 2025 so that you can thrive? Until next time, I'm Coach Phil.
I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking